Hello, and welcome back to Minecraft. I've sort of been caught up in playing Skyblock on Hypixel, and forgot all about gathering materials, which is part of why I haven't posted well, it's probably the biggest reason I haven't posted a video or streamed this week. So, today's just going to be me gathering materials and chatting. Also, there is a big update in Japan for one of the rarest people in Fate Grand Order. I'm going to need a lot of sand. I should have some room. I don't have many shovels. Also, this isn't going to stay like this. I think I might remove the wall on that part. But that can be done at a later date. Okay, I have sticks on me. Get more than just one. Four stone shovels should be enough for now. Also, this area up here will be leveled in however many tens of episodes. That's gonna be a while. It's not easy to level a mountain yourself without TNT, for fear of blowing up nearby stuff. Yeah, so for the Japanese version of Fate Grand Order, Miyu just got her Noble Phantasm upgraded. Finally. Now she's not completely terrible. Her skills could use some reworking still. A little bit of tweaking on one of them. But her Noble Phantasm, they doubled the amount of healing. And they removed the demerit. So she no longer takes away 3,000 of her own health when using her Noble Phantasm. I need to find an area with more sand than this. I can cannibalize without anyone really telling the difference. And the reason this is so big, the demerit especially being removed, that's not even the best part in my own personal opinion. I mean, it's definitely very close to the best part, not right there. The demerit exceeded her. She couldn't heal back the health from her demerit on her own unless you had her at Noble Phantasm level 5, which basically means a lot of luck. And she only ever had one campaign before. I mean, she wasn't a GSSR, but that doesn't really count. The last part of her Noble Phantasm upgrade is that every turn she will increase the party's attack, and I'll just do it based on Noble Phantasm level 1 stats. Double it for Noble Phantasm 2. Every turn she will give the party a 10% attack bonus for 3 turns. And she keeps doing this for 3 turns. Which means on turn 1 of her Noble Phantasm being used, well, at the end of it, I guess. At the end of it, or at the beginning of the next turn, there will be a 10% boost. So we'll just go by turn. So turn 1, you'll have a 10% party boost to attack damage. Turn 2, 20%. Turn 3, 30. Turn 4, 20. Then turn 5, 10. Wait, did I do that? Yeah, I did. Then turn 6, you'd be back down to 0. But anyone who has a friend with either Mew or Merlin of their own, or any combination of any combination of just Merlin and Mews would allow you to Noble Phantasm multiple times within that 3-turn time window. Meaning, you could stack that up even at Noble Phantasm level 1. And then, if you get her to Noble Phantasm 5, it'll be 20% every turn. Which is really crazy, especially for stall teams, which is where she'll work best. Now, there are 3 main ways I could... Well, I guess 2 main ways with double servants that I could see her working the best. And that would be with double Mew plus Tamamo, or a combination again of any Merlins and Mews. Now, Merlin, Mew, and Tamamo could work, but it's just not as safe of a strategy. Like, if your opponent doesn't have a damaging Noble Phantasm, then you don't need Merlin for this combo, and Tamamo might be a better, replacing one of the Merlins with Tamamo might be a better bet. Though he's still useful. Because if they don't have Noble Phantasms, or don't crit ridiculously hard, you don't need the defense. Well, the invincibility. And Tamamo reduces skill cooldowns, which would allow that 40% targeted charge quicker. And more importantly, she gives a flat 25 or higher percent of the Phantasm charge. Which would really allow for Mew to spam more often. Though, of course, there is another way that I can think of to get Mew to use her MP twice right off the bat. Note, this would be an expensive setup. So, first way, probably the hardest. No, definitely the hardest. Or the second one might be hardest because of whatever. It does require. It's cheaper, but still. Okay, I'll just say it. Use double Merlin and Mew. Everyone has their second append skill, which are new to Japan. If you haven't played, and the second one is the same for second and first are the same for everybody. The first one boosts the attack, Noble Phantasm gain, and critical star gen of your extra attack. And the second one is a 10 to 20% starting charge. So for this, you would do the second append skill. That's all you would need to be leveled fully on each of them, though. So keep in mind, you'd have to have a support Merlin, your own Merlin, and Mew all have their second append skill charged, well, leveled up fully. You would then have a kaleidoscope, or that new one, whatever it's called. Attach them, preferably the new one because it's more health focused. And Merlin and Mew can take care of all of your needs for damage, especially Mew, if you put both of the Merlin's buffs on her. Because that'll work with her selfish one. And turn 1, you'll start with Miyu's Noble Phantasm. Then you'll do both of Merlin's. So that's 3 Noble Phantasms right off the bat. Also, you will be using any Mystic Code that has a Noble Phantasm charge. Because I don't remember how much Mew makes extra. Like Merlin. Oh wait, never mind. No, oh, I keep forgetting that she has more MP charge per turn than Merlin. So the Merlins will provide a 20%. Well, the Noble Phantasms will give back a total of 20% refund to everybody. Then they'll have their own Noble Phantasm passive gain. So that will put them all at 20%. Then Miyu, I believe, has a 40% Noble Phantasm targeted charge. Fully, with her third skill fully leveled. You'll put this on her. She'll have 60% charge left to fill. Then you'll use both of the Merlin's Charisma. And that should be enough that will be enough to allow her to Noble Phantasm one more time. And then, and keep in mind, the Merlins make more back than Mew does with their passes. So they got 25% back after that first turn was over. Whereas Mew, I think, would get 22 or 23. So with them at 25, plus their own charges, that would put them at 65% charges. Then, since Mew would have fired off another one, that would increase the charge per turn to 30% for everyone. So for the Merlins, it would be 35% more. And that would allow them to fire off both of their Noble Phantasms the next turn. And since Mia would have, we'll just say 33%, she would be boosted to 73%. Plus, if she had her arts card ready, she would be able to fire off her Noble Phantasm for a on her final turn with her other. And of course, you'd be flooding the field with stars the entire time. It's always nice when you see a massive amount of stars just flooding the field. And who doesn't love getting critical hits? I mean, someone I know who's a very casual player, doesn't really get on much at all, prefers Buster in critical hits, doesn't really like the meta supports, and is going to be happy when Sherlock is back next year. They might go for Sherlock. And speaking of next year and the interlude campaign that Sherlock's a part of, I'm going to be going for Rhaenys and maybe Sherlock. Also, I don't know if I'm going to get waiver on this for this 3-5 because, I mean, A, I can get him at any time, and I do know he's useful. B, the only reason I would use him was so I could 3-turn loop with more people, but I don't have a max limit break kaleidoscope yet. I'm too away from that. is a little bit frustrating. And also, I recently got the Heavens VLC, the normal one, not the event. So I have that 40% damage, MP damage bonus. And I'm going to be using that in place of Black Rail. Which, I actually did have a Black Rail at first, but, you know, HP of people was low. I didn't have any healers. I didn't know that how useful it actually was. I got rid of it, my only copy. So hopefully I get another one at some point. Because you really only need one Black Rail. My targets for next year, well, I guess, and I'm going to see if I get lucky with getting Space's Shard. I already kind of lucked out with, from the anniversary to now, I got a lot of people. So I don't know if the gacha will let me. And yeah, Space Sister is really all that I'm going for this year. I mean, I'm definitely gonna roll the GSSR to see if I get lucky enough and get one of the people who's on my list. Musashi Berserker, Space Ishtar, whether I get a second Space Ishtar or a first. I mean, I probably have enough people to clear anything that Fake Grand Order comes out with. You know, when it comes out. Also, did you know that the North American servers used to be, I think it was 1.4 or 1.7 years behind the Japanese servers, instead of a little over 2 years? We're starting to get back to not being 2 years behind, I think. But it's crazy to think. If they just keep bumping up the events and releases of main stuff like by a couple days or a few days for each, like 3 days for each one, with the exception of things like the New Year's events, then we could easily get back to that 1.7 years behind Japan by the end of next year. I need more sand. After the shovel breaks, I'll go back and check on what is smelting. Huh. I am not signed in to... It's strange that I can post to YouTube, but not say hello in the chat. Hello, Cola Cowboy. Sorry, I missed you. I really got worse with checking the chat again. Oh no, I need to get better with that. But that is what happens when you're talking about stuff that you enjoy, I guess. But yeah, some people have been saying that, like, I saw one person, I was reading what people were saying about Miyu's upgrade. One person was like, lore-wise, they don't think that it's right that she got her demerit taken off. And I've seen all of that series and read past it, but the anime for that was, it's just a little, where do you get that from? I mean, she definitely shouldn't be like an offensive. She works better in the support aspect. And then other people were saying that it's not as good of an upgrade as people were saying it was. Which is a complete lie. If you've watched any, well, if you've played with her at all, because even without that, I mean, even with the demerit, she's pretty useful with just paired with one Merlin or paired with Tamamo. And it's just like, okay, everyone just compares people to the top people in the game. What you really do is be comparing them to the middle tier people. These are not the furnaces. So who would Miu compare to? Let's see, she's an arts crit support, I would say. So she would compare to like Chinico, maybe Home. Not really Holmes. Holmes is more of a DPS with a support on the Phantasm. So yeah, I probably like Jinico and she's not really universal. Jinico's really the only one I can think of who would be fair to. Oh, Mozart would be on the lower end. That though. So yeah, she really doesn't have much competition other than Merlin. Maybe Hans. Probably Hans. Then again, they complement each other. Using two similar... If people are semi-supports or supports, they're best used with someone who's like them instead of someone who's fully buffed. So say you're using a semi-support, then what you want to do is pair them with a DPS and another semi-support, or another semi-support and full support, or full support. No, not a full support. Or two other semi-supports. Because that will let you deal a lot more damage than you'd think. People are often like semi-supports aren't that good and stuff. Unless, you know, they're really good ones. Like Prince of Landling. You know what I say? You don't know what you're talking about. Because even like Chiron, he's a semi-support. Helena's semi-support. If you look at both of them, they're made to... I mean, Chiron's more of a semi-support than Helena, if you actually take the time to look at their kits. Helena's more of a DPS. If you give a buff success rate increase. if you were to use 2 Lakshmi buys, they would be a better crit team rather than a looping team than a Scotty would. Because they both provide 3 different damage buffs. Well, 2 or... I need to make sure what I'm talking about is right. Well, Scotty only provides quick up and critical strength up. Lakshmi Bai increases attack, critical damage to everyone, has targeted 1 turn invincibility and HP regen and damage cut, increased buff success rate. I mean, so paired with anyone who needs buff success, who has their noble phantasm based on chance, or anything else based on chance really, they'll Lakshmi buy a lot more for enabling them as a DPS than Scotty. And she has a damaging noble phantasm. And then there's Helena Blavatsky, the normal version. Yeah, a lot of people look at her kit and are like, okay, she gives tons of party-wide buffs. She's and crit star increase. Just because she has a damaging noble phantasm doesn't mean that she's anything but a support. Kind of biting yourself in the toe for calling other people semi-supports too. Because you hear her more often as a support than a semi-support. Like being called one as for what she is. But if you look at her kit, yeah, oops. If she were to use her first skill, that is a charge for everyone. But still kind of just, okay, why do you need this? This on semi-support or on a DPS. Why would you have it on a DPS? Semi-support maybe, but DPS probably not, unless it's on the normal phantasm. Because it charges the party. Then her third skill increases every every card types, with the exception of extra, and increases its effectiveness. And then they look at her second skill, and it's just like, oh, just a chance to increase her noble phantasm strength. Which, honestly, I would love if that noble phantasm strength of hers was buffed too. Instead of just being a chance to have it be for 1 turn, it was a chance to have it be for 3 turns. That would make it a lot better. But if you look at that, yeah, she can work as a support, but she's more of a semi-support. Calling her a support or DPS is just... it's just kinda... well, not really paying attention to her kit. Because she can use that to deal out a lot of damage on her noble phantasm turns. If you pair with someone like Tamamo, Maid Alter, she can use it more often. So if you pair her with one of them plus a semi-support, for her you'd probably want to use Prince of Landling. And Hi-ho Silva, you're in for a damage marathon because the chance will be increased. Isaac Diaz, he's a semi-support also. He's just more offensive oriented. Most people are semi-supports, just that they're oriented to look more like one type. Like Tomamovich, despite people saying that she's a support servant or semi-support who leans towards support, she's actually a semi-support who leans towards offensive because she has more selfish. Well, her kit works better if you use it on herself with Merlin. It can work a lot better. On the other hand, it can also go the other way, but except it doesn't have a single defensive thing. In fact, it has demerits that lower your health. Also, I will be streaming every day of this weekend. So that'll be fun. I keep forgetting that I have a cat in Minecraft. I keep thinking it's my one IRL, but no, I'm pretty sure that kitten is asleep. Well, not really a kitten anymore. Let's see. Ignore me falling into the water. You saw nothing at all. Really is weird not seeing a giant building here yet. Also, I will probably make this part go 1 block higher for the roof. Or I'll increase this by 1 block and then this by 2 blocks. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that yet, which is also part of the reason I haven't been doing too much Underworld, albeit a much smaller part than getting enamored with Skyblock and Hypixel. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this little chatting session, this gathering and chatting, then actually I believe it's called Just Chatting episode of this, and will be put under so in the playlist area as well as under the streams and under the Cwaft list. And also, we still have a dog who has not been named. So if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Call a Cowboy. Wish I didn't miss your comment when you originally put it. Would love to have a chat with you live. But I will. We need to build an aquarium for you, Miko. Franklin's name. Miko and Franklin. Then there's also a random axolotl here too. So if you enjoyed this, then let me know. Leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time later this weekend. Bye.